In an ever-evolving global landscape, two titans, the United States and China, often find themselves on opposite ends of the seesaw. But why? Today, on Wealth Builders Wisdom, let's unpack the gravity of their relationship. Imagine a world where the flashpoint between two nations isn't just about military might, but a web of economic, technological, and geopolitical tussles. Enter the USA and China. From the onset, their interactions have been nuanced, oscillating between collaboration and competition. So what's the crux? While some may argue that the USA seeks to contain China, others might view it as simply safeguarding its interests. And China, their plate is full with internal challenges, from addressing demographic shifts to handling environmental concerns and ensuring their internal stability. And let's not forget, the recent public health crisis, which took the world by storm, showcased their initial exemplary response, but their reluctance to accept global vaccine support raised eyebrows. Now, if you're finding this deep dive intriguing, a quick reminder, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with more insights from Wealth Builders Wisdom. Back to our story. Historically, economic skirmishes between nations tend to evolve. First, trade wars, then technological battles, followed by geopolitical influence fights, and then perhaps a dash of economic sanctions. And at the very end of this spectrum lies the ominous threat of military confrontation. It's essential to recognize this pattern, as it helps us anticipate and understand the dynamics at play. Now, one might wonder, with China holding a significant chunk of American debt, should the US be concerned? Interestingly, it may be China who should be more apprehensive. After all, if they offload that debt, the USA's likely move would be, well, print more money, diluting its value. Picture this. Decades ago, China was the world's low-cost manufacturer. The US and much of the world saw an opportunity for cheaper goods. In this economic dance, China earned significant revenues, much of which they invested back into the US by buying American bonds. It was a win-win, or so it seemed. Fast forward to today. China's economic progression has been nothing short of spectacular. Since the 1980s, their per capita income has skyrocketed, reflecting their aspirations to be a dominant global player. The aim, not necessarily global domination, but to be as prosperous, secure, and influential as possible. Now, it's not always about economics. Cultural differences play a crucial role in these interactions. The way the East and West perceive freedom, governance, and individual rights can be starkly different. This cultural gap was evident when an NBA executive statement on Hong Kong led to significant consequences for the entire league in China. Speaking of cultural values, China's approach to governance can be likened to a Confucian tribute system, where a hierarchical order, respect, and harmony are paramount. While it's easy for Westerners to critique China's autocratic model, it's worth understanding that their system, much like the US Constitution, is deeply rooted in history and beliefs. Another point to ponder, with the US being the world's largest consumer of manufactured goods from China, the economic interdependency is evident. So while debates on human rights, governance, and ideology continue, the pragmatic reality is that these nations are intertwined economically. Studying China's historical dynasties reveals patterns of meritocracy, broad-based education, and efforts to curb corruption. The same principles that have often led to the rise of great empires throughout history. And in modern times, China's balance between fostering entrepreneurship and ensuring societal order is noteworthy. So, as we stand today, what's the outlook? Both nations strive for prosperity, security, and influence. The dance continues, with each step, each move, intricately choreographed by historical precedents, economic imperatives, and global aspirations. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey today. If you found value in this deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Wealth Builders Wisdom for more compelling content. The global chessboard has often witnessed the rise and fall of empires. While history has seen powers like the Roman Empire, the British Empire, and the Ottoman Empire, the 21st century highlights a different kind of competition, one that's largely economic and technological in nature. As we've highlighted, the US and China are the primary players in this modern contest. But what drives this dynamic? Is it just sheer ambition, or are there deeper undercurrents at play? Historical roots. The United States, with its roots in the ideals of freedom, democracy, and capitalism, has always championed these values on the global stage. Born from a rebellion against colonial rule, the nation's ethos is deeply tied to individual rights, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. China, on the other hand, boasts a continuous civilization spanning millennia. Dynastic rule, philosophies like Confucianism and Taoism, and a central imperial authority have shaped its socio-political fabric. The recent century, however, saw China grappling with colonial impositions, wars, and internal revolutions. The rise of the Communist Party in 1949 brought about a drastic shift, with socialism and a centralized system taking center stage. Economic philosophies. The American dream, a belief where anyone, regardless of background, can achieve success through hard work, contrasts sharply with China's collective progress ideal. While America emphasizes individual entrepreneurship and open markets, China's approach has been about state-driven initiatives and controlled capitalism. The technological race. The digital age presents another battleground. With tech giants like Apple, Google, and Facebook originating from the US and counterparts like Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent from China, the tech sector's influence cannot be understated. Intellectual property rights, data privacy, and cybersecurity are modern arenas of contention as both nations seek to secure their digital frontiers and global tech dominance. Environmental concerns. Climate change and environmental sustainability have emerged as universal challenges. As the world's largest carbon emitters, both the US and China bear significant responsibilities. Their approaches, however, differ. America's stance has varied with changing administrations, swinging between pro-environmental policies and fossil fuel support. China, meanwhile, has been rapidly investing in renewable energy, albeit with continued dependence on coal. The space for diplomacy. Despite these differences, diplomacy remains a vital tool. Summits, bilateral talks, and international forums offer platforms for dialogue, understanding, and collaboration. Such engagements allow for conflict de-escalation and pave the way for mutual benefits. Possible future scenarios. So, where might this relationship head? Collaborative coexistence. Both nations recognize their interdependence and work towards mutual growth, addressing global challenges collectively. Cold competition. A scenario where economic, technological, and geopolitical rivalries intensify, but overt confrontations are avoided. Open conflict. A less likely yet concerning possibility, where disagreements escalate into open confrontations, disrupting global peace and stability. To navigate these waters, global leaders, policymakers, businesses, and citizens must engage in informed dialogues, foster mutual respect, and seek common ground. In conclusion, as the world watches this dance between two giants, it's essential to understand that their relationship will undeniably shape the 21st century's geopolitical and economic landscape. While challenges persist, the potential for collaboration, mutual growth, and global betterment remains vast.